Hey there. You know when you're using a really polished, amazing app on your phone, and you kind of wonder what's actually going on under the hood? Well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're prying open the ultimate Swift developers toolkit.
So, that really begs the big question, right? How do you get from just a simple idea to a complex, beautiful application that millions of people might end up loving? Is it some kind of magic? Not quite.
It all comes down to having the right tools for the job. You know, just like a master carpenter has a workshop full of specialized saws and drills, a great developer has a digital toolkit packed with SDKs, that's software development kits, and libraries to build, polish, and ship incredible software.
So here's our game plan for today. We're going to cover 5 key areas. First, we'll start with the foundation, Apple's core building blocks. Then we'll get into the lifeblood of an app, handling app data. After that, the fun stuff, crafting the user experience. Then we'll talk business with growth and monetization. And finally, we'll wrap up with shipping with confidence. Let's get into it.
You can't build a skyscraper on a shaky foundation, right? Well, it's the same thing with apps. In the world of iOS development, that solid foundation is built with the incredibly powerful tools that Apple gives us, right out of the box.
So, when it comes to building what the user actually sees, there are 2 main roads you can take in the Apple world. On one side, you've got UIKit. It's the veteran, the long-standing choice. It's imperative, which is a fancy way of saying you tell the app step-by-step how to draw the screen. On the other side, you have SwiftUI, which is definitely the future. It's declarative. You just describe what the screen should look like based on your data, and SwiftUI handles the rest. It's the modern way to build for all of Apple's devices at once.
But the user interface, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Apple gives us a whole suite of these SDKs to power everything else. Foundation is the absolute bedrock. It handles all the basic data types. Core data is for saving information right on the device. Combine is amazing for managing these complex, flowing streams of data. And then you have specialized tools like AV Foundation for anything audio and video, MapKit for maps, and StoreKit for in-app purchases. Apple really gives you the core parts for almost anything you can dream up.
Okay, an app without data is really just an empty box. So let's talk about the app's lifeblood, how it fetches, manages, and stores all the information that makes it so useful and dynamic.
Let me paint a picture of a really common data flow for you. First, your app needs to talk to a server on the internet, right? It makes a network request, often using a library like Alamofire to make it easier. The server sends back data, usually in a format called JSON. Just think of it as a universal language that apps and servers use to talk. Then, your app has to understand, or parse, that JSON, and a tool like SwiftyJSON is perfect for that. Finally, you'll probably want to save some of that data on the device, so the user can see it even when they're offline.
And the best part is, you don't have to build all this from scratch. The developer community has created some amazing tools. For networking, Alamofire is pretty much the gold standard. For local databases, Apple's core data is really powerful. But a lot of developers absolutely love Realm for how fast and simple it is. And if you're working with a more modern API using something called GraphQL, then Apollo iOS is the tool you'll want to grab. All right, let's move on to the really fun stuff, the part the user actually sees and touches and feels. This is all about the visible magic, the user interface and experience that can truly make or break an app.
I mean, think about your favorite apps. What is it that makes them feel so good to use? It's usually a whole bunch of things working together. Layouts that look perfect on any screen size, animations that are just buttery smooth, images that pop in instantly, and really clear, beautiful charts for showing data.
Now, to get that kind of polish, developers lean on some absolutely incredible libraries. If you need to create complex layouts using code, SnapKit is a total lifesaver. When it comes to loading images from the internet, SD, WebImage, and Kingfisher are the 2 heavyweights. They handle all the tricky stuff like downloading and caching for you. And if you want to add these gorgeous, complex animations that a designer made, Airbnb's library, Lottie, is just pure magic.
Okay, so building a great app is one thing, but turning that passion project into a real, sustainable business, that's a whole other ballgame. This section is all about the tools you need for growth and for making money.
So, the very first step to growth is understanding your users. I mean, you can't improve what you don't measure, right? Product analytics tools let you see exactly what features people are using, where they're getting stuck, and how they're actually behaving inside your app. And let me tell you, that information is absolute gold.
So where do you start with all this? Well, for the vast majority of developers, the answer is pretty clear.
Google's Firebase Analytics. It's free, it's incredibly powerful, and it fits perfectly into the whole Firebase ecosystem. Now, as your app grows, you might look at more specialized tools like Mixpanel or Amplitude for super deep analysis, but Firebase is, without a doubt, the place to start.
All right, let's talk about making money. Apple's own StoreKit framework is the foundation for any in-app purchase or subscription. But honestly, managing subscriptions can get really complex, which is why a service like RevenueCat has become so popular. It just handles all of that back-end messiness for you. And if you're selling actual physical goods or services, the Stripe SDK is the undisputed industry standard for processing payments safely and securely.
Okay, we're in the final section. You've built the app, you've got a plan to grow it. Now you have to make sure it's stable, bug-free, and just professional. It's time to ship with confidence.
I absolutely love this quote because it is so true. Getting your app onto the App Store isn't the finish line, it's the starting line. The real goal, the long-term goal, is to maintain a high-quality experience for your users.
And these are the tools that help you do just that. Sentry and Microsoft's App Center are fantastic for tracking crashes. They'll ping you the second your app crashes for a real user so you can fix it before it affects tons of people. And Instabug is just brilliant. It lets users literally shake their phone to report a bug, and it even includes a screenshot. It's probably the best way to get direct, actionable feedback from the people who matter most.
So, there you have it. From Apple's foundational SDKs to all the amazing third-party libraries that handle data, UI, growth, and quality, we've really journeyed through the entire developer's toolkit. You've got the map. You know the essential tools used to build modern, high-quality apps. The only question left is the most exciting one of all. With all of these incredibly powerful tools right at your fingertips, what amazing thing are you going to build next?